San Francisco, California is where we go now. Kristen is there. Kristen, how can we help?
Hi, Ken. Hi, George. How are you guys doing today?
We are having a blast. What's going on with you?
Okay, so my call kind of has to do with the last guy who called, but in a different sense. So my husband and I got married, and we moved into a house, and the roommate that was living with him before we got married came with us to the new house, which was fine because it's helped with the bills, so we don't have to cover everything. But now he's basically moved into his girlfriend. She's stayed every night for the last 4 months. She showers here, she washes clothes here, she eats here. But we talked to him about it, said she needs to start paying rent if she's going to stay here that much, because we do pay quite a bit more than him for the bills here. And he said she's a guest, she doesn't need to pay bills, she has to pay bills elsewhere. And we're not really sure what to do, if we should try terminating our lease early, but I know that costs money, or if we should try removing his name off of the lease, if you even know if that's possible.
Oh, boy.
Sticky situation here. So what is the lease agreement? What does it say, and who owns that?
So the lease agreement is my husband, me, and the roommate. All three of our names are on it, and it's for a year. So we started in June until next June. And then per the regulations, it says that there should not be any subletting, and nobody else besides the people who are on the lease agreement should be living here.
That's pretty clear to me.
And
yeah, there's your technical out.
Have you told him that hey, this is in the lease agreement?
No, we haven't told him that yet.
Who's the enforcer? Who's the actual enforcer in that contract?
The enforcer would be our landlord, we live about like an hour east of San Francisco, but my landlord lives in LA. So
yeah, well, I'd be on the phone with the
nobody's really here to like check.
Yeah, well, I mean, your technical out is that clause, and the landlord to be your heavy, but this is still going to be a tough conversation, and at some point we got to be big boys and big girls, and he either does it your way or you get the landlord involved.
Okay.
Yeah. And I hope you've learned a lesson here. I hate to sound like Dad.
Oh, yeah.
But goodness gracious.
My husband and I are both like, wow, we are never going to do this again.
Yeah.
So you guys are all renting as part of this lease. So it's not like you're not gaining anything financially other than you have a roommate to split with, correct?
Yeah. So like all total, we pay like $3,000 for bills for just to live in the house, and he pays about $900.
How did you? Yeah.
So we feel like we're housing a child now.
Well,
Yeah.
part of me goes, it's not like you own the house. Is there another situation? Obviously, I want him out and to get a better roommate if he's not going to agree to these terms. I don't like the idea of the girlfriend moving into the situation either. Does that cramp the space a little bit to have 4 people in there?
No, it's a big enough house for it, but we just feel like he is disrespecting the agreement that we agreed upon. And this girl isn't paying anything, and she's staying here for free, which you're not allowed to stay anywhere for free.
She's got the greatest gig right now.
Yeah.
Rent free in near San Francisco.
Yeah. Were you guys good friends with this clown before this, or is this just a sheer roommate
My husband
situation?
is. My husband is close friend, so that's where it gets sticky.
No,
but
it doesn't.
It doesn't matter about relationships.
Thank you very much, Chris. Can I just tell you, you need to tell your husband what I'm saying. Your husband needs to man up. My goodness gracious. If one of my friends was doing this to me, it'd be a one-on-one bro conversation. Come on, man. This isn't you. Your husband should be ashamed of himself. You shouldn't even have to be dealing with this. He needs to man up and tell this dude, figure it out. You play by the rules or you're out, dude. But this guy is taking advantage of your husband. He is taking advantage of his kindness, or shall I say, taking advantage of his lack of confrontation skills or a stomach for confrontation. Am I about right?
He's a police officer, so he knows how to have confrontation. I think it's the kindness part that.
Well, he needs to take off the kindness hat, and he needs to put on the confrontation hat and pull out the old nightstick too. You know, I'd be tapping it on my thigh. Hey, man, listen up here. Look, this is
Well,
unfortunate.
Ken's saying this. He's being good cop right now. We've got to see a little bit of that bad cop
Thank
if we
you,
want to see
George.
the situation be resolved. I don't like. If I'm in your shoes, I'm going. This guy's out, and if I've got to use the landlord to fix it, if I've got to get the husband to have this conversation since it's his friend, and like you said, if it's a friend, it's a different level of conversation. It's not a stranger you met on Craigslist. It's going, hey, dude, if she stays here, she pays rent. That's the rule.
George, you know me. I'm old school, man.
You are.
I'm old school. I mean, this might just be grabbing the guy by the back of the collar and the back of the pants
Well,
and throwing
let's
him
not
out
resort
in
to
the parking
violence,
lot.
Ken. Come on.
I'm not saying actual violence. I'm saying it's one of those, come on. Like, he just needs to lower the boom on this guy and go, dude, you're a child. You're acting like a child. But now, let's focus on the backside of this. The lesson here. First of all, I don't like the deal that he was paying $900.
Yeah.
They were paying
Now, sometimes they go,
share.
well, if you've got the master bedroom with the in-suite bathroom, you pay a little more. That's typical.
I don't like it.
So I don't know their situation there, but if I'm in their shoes, maybe it could be better to have a stranger who just keeps to themselves, who's clean, and you get a different roommate who you don't have to deal with.
Did you have any language in your wedding vows that said leave and cleave? You ever remember that part?
I remember that part.
Leave and cleave. If you can't afford an apartment without a roommate if you're a married couple, then you need to slow down. You need to do something less. I don't like the idea of any new married couple. Quite frankly, I just don't like it.
Yeah. And
I don't like it.
They're in the San Francisco area, so it may. Now, if they're paying $3,000 for 3 people. Maybe they could find a spot for $2,000 that's smaller and still work for them if they want to be on their own. But living in that area, high cost of living, it gets tough as you're going to pay $3,000-4,000 on your own. But hopefully the income is there to support that too. If you're living out there.
There needs to be boundaries for a new married couple and married couples in general. And it'd be one thing if it's a room over the garage, but sharing one house, I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
But you're younger. You're making all kinds of excuses.
Well,
for
we've read the article. The millennials are buying houses together,
Oh,
co-buying
jeez.
with friends.
Oh boy.
Nightmare waiting to happen.
Ugh.